team, probably a little controversial. I don't think a lot of people's going to put Tampa in the Power Five, but I've got Tampa as fifth. He said, well, Robert, they lost last weekend. That was a good loss. That was a good loss. You know, I watched that game and I thought to myself, man, Philly is hanging on by threads here. They are hanging on by threads in this game. But either way, like the fact they got Thurston Wirfs back. I love the fact, well, of course, they're 3-1. You know, they're tied for the league in the division. Two big road wins earlier this season. Got a big game this week. By the way, they'll play at Seattle. We'll break that game down. But they seem to have a lot of team chemistry. They have no quit in them. You look at the emergence of Emeka Egbuka, probably the rookie of the year if the season ended today. They've also got Chris Godwin back. Baker Mayfield, 8 touchdowns, 1 interception. 59% completion percentage could be a little better. I like how they played towards the end of the game. Never giving in, just like it went here. They're going to get Mike Evans back here in a few weeks. I just think this team is a tough out for anybody. Do I think they're in a Super Bowl? No, but a snapshot of where they're playing right now, I wouldn't want to play the Tampa Bay Bucks right now. Remember, they went up to Detroit and beat them up there in Detroit at the beginning of the season last year, okay? And Detroit was the number 1 overall seed to start the playoffs last year. I do think this team have fought through injuries. They're getting players back. They're going to be that much better. They're going to be that much better as the season goes along. As long as they got Vita in the middle on the defense, that by the way, they're 4th in total defense too. So, I mean, got a lot. Bucky Irvin, a lot of balance there at the running game, a lot of balance there. In the passing game, kudos to Baker Mayfield on his 3rd offensive coordinator in 3 years, and they're still playing really well. Okay, so I got them at 5. Number 4, Rams. Rams, another good win last week there. Puka Nacua, probably, looked up a stat yesterday, probably the best quarterback wide receiver tandem in the NFL right now with Puka Nacua. Thought I had a stat on him. I had some sound bites that I didn't get a chance to play. Puka Nacua, 503 yards, 1st in the league in yards, 1st in the league in receptions, 42, 1st in targets, 8 receptions plus 20 for 20-plus yards. He's 1st in that as well. I told you that Davante Adams, no matter what percentage he's playing he's going to be a good complementary piece to Puka Nacua. And look at him. He's playing like the best wide receiver in the NFL. Love that combination, not to mention that Rams defense. Rams got a real shot at the Super Bowl if Matt Stafford's back holds up. I got them at number 4. By the way, 67% completion percentage for Matt Stafford. This guy's no slouch. Okay, number 3. This is going to be controversial as well, folks. Philadelphia. Philadelphia undefeated, man. They got all this talent. Listen, folks, they dropped the 3 because they're winning, but offensively seems more like the Eagles' offense of 2 years ago. They skated the Eagles. Let's think about 2023. They skated by the first 12 games of the season last year. Remember, they was on a different offensive coordinator then, right? They changed offensive coordinators. They was on a new coordinator, hired an in-house guy. Sound familiar? Hired an in-house guy in 23. And they skated by the first 12 games, but fell off the last 6. Had to go on the road and play at Tampa, if you recall. And ultimately, they lost that division. Remember, they lost that division to Dallas. And ultimately got humiliated in the playoffs by Tampa. And it's very similar. It's very similar to this particular team. You're looking at A.J. Brown on and off again, 20 to 40-something yards in certain games. Saquon Barkley, he does not look good. He's a shell of himself. He looks like a shell of himself. I'm not saying he's washed up by no means. I just think the scheme doesn't look good. The plays don't look good. A lot of that is set up in scheme here. So I know the defense is keeping them in games, but the defense isn't all world either. They're skating by. They're having problems. They still got a bunch of talent. I think they can correct it. But for right now, I got them number 3 as a snapshot in my Power 5. Okay? Had to give you a little extra time in that one because people say, Philadelphia Eagles, man, Super Bowl champs. Okay, Detroit, number 2. If Detroit and Philadelphia played Sunday, for example, I would pick the Detroit Lions. Yes, I would. They're healthy. I just love their balance, man. 34. I've just mentioned, Cleveland, number 1 defense in the league for yards. The Cleveland Browns, they might be bad offensively. Number 1 defense in the league, no problem, man. Detroit, short week, physical game against Baltimore, no problem. 34 points on the Cleveland Browns. Defense held Cleveland, by the way, 249 yards. They are top 11, I want to say, total defense here. And you look at the first week, blowing out, you could see the adjustments as the season went along and the games. So you say, well, Baltimore's down, Chicago, but Chicago did win the blowout to Chicago, then Cleveland. I do think that this team has balance. I think they got pushed up front defensively. I think they're disciplined on a back end. Brian Branch defensively. They're disciplined at the cornerback. The corner's actually good this year, playing really well. And, of course, Jared Goff, he's back to playing like the guy he was a year ago, where he's having these games where he's getting like 1 incompletion per game. So they're number 2, man. I think they're legit. They're a legit Super Bowl contender. And number 1, Buffalo. Buffalo second in total yards, first in rushing. Had some injuries on the defensive side. Still get a double-digit win. They're still 11th in total defense, even though they gave up a lot of points there in that Baltimore game in week 1. Buffalo's a house of fire. Got the best player in the league in Josh Allen, the least sacked quarterback in the league. They had their first try. I kind of thought they'd be a little flat against the New Orleans Saints, but they end up coming out pretty good on that thing. And like I said, 11th in total defense, second in total yards, first in rushing here. I do think they'll probably make a move around the trade deadline, maybe add another defensive piece or 2. But, they were my preseason favorite to win the Super Bowl, and they seem to be playing the best football as of right now. Again, let's recap this. Number 1, Buffalo Bills. Number 2, Detroit Lions. Number 3, the Philadelphia Eagles. Number 4, the LA Rams. And number 5, the Tampa Bay Bucks. A lot of people may go elsewhere.